problem, so let's just put it off for 2 more weeks, so we just see it where it is. And if we vote no for whatever it is at that time, so be it. Maybe things are changing here, I don't know, that we're getting things mixed up with
Mr.
the,
Wilson, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the
budget.
motion last week was to adopt the CIP as amended. So staff went through and took the amendments that were discussed on the dais and put those changes in, which are going to show in the budget. So far as the final draft, this is the fifth CIP. The council has never gotten a final draft of the CIP before the budget was approved. It's always been delivered with the final copy of the budget and a final copy of the CIP. So there's been changes discussed and numbers given back, but a final printed copy the last 4 years has never been given out until after the full budget's been approved, because that's when the final numbers are approved to produce the final document. So you can't produce a final document until the full appropriations ordinance has been approved. So to build another interim CIP isn't going to do a whole lot for anybody.
in
really.
return, it would be the same thing as what you're gonna produce. I mean, you're doing the same thing.
Unless you change something over the next 2 budget meetings, and then we're going to have to
Well,
go
then we're
back to the
just-
shop again.
The budget hasn't been approved.
Correct,
so
which is why
We're still
nothing's
gonna
been
approve
approved.
this before, just put it in there, and then we'll be taking it out as we go along with the budget. And that's, I mean, and
Alderman Woods?
Yeah, Brett, correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't you gonna give us a rundown document to just clarify all the changes that we made with some dollar amounts? You didn't want to reprint the whole CIP, which made sense, but you were gonna, I thought, distribute a document that clarified all those changes. I think that's the big concern, what we're all
Okay,
voting on and
and if I watched the video and I misunderstood it, then that's my fault. I was under the impression that that was going to be delivered with the budget document next week. So if the understanding was that it was going to be delivered this week, then I apologize for that. That was not my interpretation of what was discussed at committee last week. And so if that's what your intent was, then I apologize for that, because I interpreted it a
That's, I
different
can't
way,
speak
so.
for everybody, but that's what I thought, that there'd be just like a one-page summary, overview, you know.
Yeah, like I had been planning on putting that in with the budget document with in the CAP section, so.
Alderman Roy Wesley, one other thing?
yes, I'll make a motion to table for this for 2 weeks until the next council meeting. And
Do I have a second? Oh, wait. we have a
Second.
Motion on the table.
table
Okay.
overrules.
Oh, no, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Back to council, 2 weeks. Okay. Approval of list of bills, February 7th, 2013, Alderman Shockey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the bills of February 7th, 2013, general fund, $186,335.53, pardon me. Road and Bridge Fund, $1,221.39. Motor Fuel Tax Fund, $3,645.01. Tourism Fund, $27,006.49. Capital Projects Fund, $57,208.78. Equipment Replacement Fund, $1,124.60. Computer Parking Lot Fund, $1,065.89. Sanitation Fund, $106.74. Water and Sewer Capital Projects, $970,157.06. Water and Sewer Fund, $169,638.57. Special Service Area Fund, $517,838.75, for a grand total of $1,935,348.81, pardon me. That's my motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Questions? Alderman Woods.
Yeah, hang on 1 second here so I can. Page 16 of the bills, Watson Marlowe Company, 520 series parasaltic pumps, $35,700. Can somebody tell me what those are or what they're for?
Who wants to take that? Mr. Gallish?
At this time, I don't know that I can provide a firm answer for you, so I'll have to gather some facts on that and get back to you on that. My assumption would certainly be that, that was something that malfunctioned at our lift station and needed to be replaced. But I'd request that you give me some.
Are there 4 pumps at the lift station? A lift station?
Again, I would want to
Okay.
collect some facts and return that answer to you. I don't know the answer to that question right now.
Do you have any? Mr. Wilson, do you have something to add to that? Okay. Alderman Woods, do you have another question on that? Or no?
Yeah, same page. NP treatment, page 16. Treatment plant upgrade, HR Green, $114,276. And under the same number, I'm sure it's an invoice number, upgrade number, another 39,000. Could you tell me what those are for?
Mr. Wilson.
Those are for HR Green's construction management, resident engineering out there for the treatment plant. The reason for the 2 invoices on the one is one of the invoices was inadvertently underpaid. One of the prior invoices was underpaid, and so it has been since caught, and we're just effectively making ourselves whole with them in that regard. So that's the reason for the 39,000 even invoice. And for the Watson Marlowe one, and I'll let Mr. Gallis do his research. My understanding is that those were a couple of components necessary for the treatment plant, but it was going to be cheaper for us to buy them outside of the Maxim contract due to some markups and some timing issues. And so we bought those on our own, I think even ahead of the Maxim contract because of the lead time that was required to get those items delivered for the upgrades of the plant.
Okay.
Go ahead, continue, Alderman Woods.
One more. Page 18. Highway Technologies, renting of single lane closure equipment, $530.
Mr. Gallis, that you're going to take that one? Go ahead.
Highway Technologies provides aero boards for our folks that do water main break replacements or repairs and remedies. So this Highway Technologies is the firm that rents us that equipment.
Don't we have one of those boards ourselves?
Go ahead.
Again, being relatively new to the city,
Okay.
I would like an opportunity to investigate that. But I am familiar with Highway Technologies, and that's their purpose.
Alderman Wesley.
If I'm mistaken, Mr. Woods, that might be when we close the lane closer down on Wooddale Road for the tree lighting.
So again, I'd ask, I believe we have a sign, why don't we use our own?
Because we also had barricades put up, and that was part of it all. We didn't have enough barricades, so.
Okay.
Alderman Roy Wesley.
If we don't have one, maybe it's something to look at to put in the budget. So, if we do have one, then we should have used it. If not, we use them enough, so maybe it'd be worth it to purchase our own.
Alderman Woods.
Page 8, top of the page, Xerox Corporation digital violations processing service, $5,500.
Chief?
That is our monthly contract fee for the railroad violations processing that we've had in place for a few years with them.
So it costs us $5,500 every month
That's
to
correct.
process?
Yes, and that include all of the camera equipment, the recent upgrades to all
Okay,
the
so
camera
it's part of the
equipment.
equipment, okay. I see.
Yeah, it's a full contract that we signed with them several years ago.
Anything further?
No, I'm good. Oh, I take it back, one more.
Go ahead.
You thought you were getting away.
No, it's,
Run outlets in trailer at North Plant, $1,380.
what page is that again?
That is page 8. 1, 2, third one down, Breaker Electric. Run outlets into trailer at NP, which I'm assuming is North Plant, $1,380.
Go ahead, Mr. Galish.
Is there a more specific question that you're asking? I mean, that's, I think what that was for was to replace an outlet.
Okay,
At the north plant.
in
that
what
is
trailer
malfunctioning.
and why? It says in trailer, so,
Then again, I'd offer the same answer I offered you earlier. You'd have to allow me to do a little bit more
Okay.
investigation on that.
Are we gonna take these items off the,
you can hold them for an answer. You can cut them and hold them.
we're gonna need the dollar amount. Mr. Murmas?
To make things easier in the in the future, perhaps a little bit of a heads up, then we wouldn't have to calculate the math here tonight and subtract items. Just a suggestion.
Alderman Woods, go ahead.
Once again, we could cut the check. He gives us an explanation, the check goes out, no math required.
Alderman Eugene Wesley, you have a follow-up?
Oh, no, I agree. Cut the checks, but hold those checks out.
All right, which checks are we holding
We
exactly?
holding the
Want to make sure we got the right ones,
page 8.
so staff holds the correct checks.
Breaker Electric. Right, which is on page 8.
It's,
Go ahead.
And I think the only other one in question was the one for the pumps. What those were for. Were those for the
Page 16
treatment
was
plant,
that?
or were those for lift stations, or what they were for?
Was that page 16?
That was page 16, yeah.
And who was the vendor on that? For the-
Watson Marlowe?
Watson. Those two?
Yeah. The other ones were explained with the extras.
Alderman Roy Wesley.
as vice chairman of finance, are we holding these checks back until you get the answers, or are we gonna hold them back into the next meeting? Because I don't, how would I know if you got your answer, or how would you like to do this?
They could send the answer to you. As long as the question's answered, I don't care who gets the answer.
The manager will send a memo to all the aldermen so everybody knows what they are. Is that okay?
Oh,
This way, everybody's
and
clear.
What happens if Alderman Woods or I have questions on more? Does the bill go out or no?
You want to hold it till next Thursday? We,
I heard what. I heard
basically,
us-
we can hold it till next Thursday. If all questions aren't answered by next Thursday, the checks won't go out. Mr. Wilson, go ahead.
On the Watson Marlowe one, it's in the bag up here because it's over 5,000. Those were for the treatment plant. And so they were supposed to have been delivered earlier, but with the delays, they just timed up the delivery time with where they were at in the project. So that one is certainly for the treatment plant.
All right.
The other one, the description that's on the list of bills was a description that was on the invoice, so I can't offer anything else on that.
So
one.
then the only one we're holding is Breaker Electric.
Alderman Eugene Wesley, you want another one held?
No, well, I really, I like to know, no, I'd like to know if that is being held, that check for those pumps. I want to know what the delay was, why, so they could hold that check for another 2 weeks. As far I'm concerned, if I was liking the delivery of those pumps, darn right well, we're going to hold their check, because if they were in a hurry to ship those pumps sooner to us, then hold that check. As far I'm concerned, hold that check for 2 weeks.
Go ahead, Mr. Wilson, you want to
Yeah,
comment?
the delay in the delivery of the pumps was due to the delay in the construction of the treatment plant itself. Because the way that everything was lining up, there was a delivery down there, and then there was, I recall seeing some conversation that they couldn't be delivered because they couldn't be installed, so there was really nowhere to stage them over there. So that's why they were delivered a little bit later, as I recall.
Okay.
Mr. Wesley, go ahead.
Then, if that's the case, then hold a maximal check for 2 weeks, because they hold that project up for 2 weeks of getting those pumps delivered. So someone's going to have a check hold back for them. Because I am not going to sit up here and get pipes and not being delayed, and these guys are submitting these bills left and right and being paid. No way.
Mr. Bond.
Why, I can appreciate the frustration of the alderman. The law provides that if the services were delivered, you have an obligation under the Illinois Prompt Payment Act to make payment on that. We also have contractual obligations that require, once the services are delivered or provided, that the city has an obligation to pay that. And absent anything from staff that would suggest that it wasn't delivered in accordance with the contract, or that it was not properly delivered or installed, your hands are a little bit tied under state statute that you have to approve the payment of that. You cannot withhold that on the basis that's been discussed thus far.
So as of right now, just the one on page 8 for Breaker. Until next Thursday, hopefully we'll have something, an answer tomorrow. Any other questions? Roll call.
Alderman E. Wesley,
No.
Alderman Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Winger,
Yes.
Alderman Shockey,
Yes.
Alderman Coles,
Yes.
Alderman Sizmarsky,
No.
Alderman Lazara,
Yes.
Alderman R. Wesley.
Yes.
That passes. Executive session, we do need executive session to review the official minutes and land acquisition, but we do need a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Make the motion to adjourn?
Wait a minute. Excuse me 1 second. Go ahead, Alderman Roy Wesley, you had something else?
Yes, I have a question. Could we have a full report next week on the cleaning of those tanks? Where we stand on it? Who's paying for it? What's going on with it? What's the timeline? I would like a full report on it, and if we're behind, I would like to have engineers here, and if it's Maxwell or whatever company it is that was doing over there, if they're behind, I want some answers, and I would like it to this council.
All right. Managers made the note.
Okay.
Anything else, Alderman Wesley?
Are
Go ahead.
are we going to exec session for possible litigation too, or no? Okay. Could we add it, or no?
Go ahead, Mr. Bond.
Yeah, not at this juncture, but if you want to talk to me separately, I can discuss it.
All right, I need a motion to adjourn into executive session.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned.